Hey, hello, welcome to GC 365. We are on day 277, October 4th, coming at you live. This is my special guest. Who are you?
I'm Judah.
He is Judah. And who are you, Judah?
I'm your son.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
How do you know? You don't know. You're just taking my word for it. I could have been lying to you for the last 12 and a half years.
Wow.
You don't know. You are my son. But he is my son. And he is coming here to help me today as we talk through what you should be reading through in Jeremiah and also some of the words of Paul. And before we get into that, we're going to be in Jeremiah. And Jeremiah is known as the weeping prophet. Did you know that? Only probably because I told you, right? Yeah, that's the only reason. Weeping prophet, because he would always cry. Now, do you cry a lot?
No.
No?
Cry a lot.
You don't cry a lot? What would be a lot?
Like every day.
Like every day would be crying a lot? But how often do you cry? Once a week?
Maybe less or...
Do I cry a lot?
No.
I don't cry at all, huh? My tear ducts don't actually work. I filled them in with rubber cement a long time ago so that they don't actually work anymore. Who do you know that cries a lot?
My mom and my sister.
Your mom and sister both cry a lot, right? Yes. My mom, your mom, not my mom, but your mom is what we call a sympathetic crier. So she feels what other people feels, and when she's next to them and they're crying, she just starts crying with them. And that's what makes her who she is and wonderful and etc. But when other people are crying when I'm around them, I just look at them like, what's wrong with your eyeballs? Right? It's kind of the difference. I'm the one that says, brush it off, rub some dirt in it, get up. And your mom's the one that's, right? Yeah. So Jeremiah, he was that weeping prophet. He cried all the time. And the reason why was, I'm going to read to you right here. It says, "O Israel, faithless people, come home to me again, for I am merciful and I will not be angry with you forever." He's crying because the people of Israel kept turning their back on God over and over again. God kept saying, come back to me, and they kept running away. And he's crying for them because he feels so bad for them. Now, coming home, you know what that's like, right? Mm-hmm. We go on vacation sometimes, or we'll go on a trip somewhere, and we're just gone for 4 days, 5 days a week, whatever it is. Or you'll go to camp, right? Mm-hmm. Whether it's winter camp or summer camp or whatever it is, you'll go to camp. And then when we come back, what's your favorite thing?
Ooh, probably my bed.
Your bed is your favorite thing?
Yeah.
Why is your bed your favorite thing?
Because it's the exact same way I left it, and it's so much better than the beds whenever we go to like hotels or camp
or
anywhere else.
It's the way you left. It's your smell. It's your corner. Mm-hmm. Well, what about like you have your Xbox or Nintendo Switch or whatever? Why is that? That's not what you look forward to when you come home. It's your bed.
Yep, because I'm always so tired and wiped out.
That's true. It's not fun to play video games when you're tired, huh? Mm-hmm. I got you. So there is that feeling of coming home, and you walk in and you know you're home. And that's what Jeremiah is trying to encourage these people, saying, just come home. God has got his arms ready, and he wants to be with you. Then we fast forward all the way to Colossians, and this is Paul talking to a different church, a different set of people, equally cares about them because he planted his church. You're part of a church plant, aren't you?
Yep.
Which plant?
Gold Creek Lake Stevens.
Gold Creek Lake Stevens. Man, I heard the pastor there is kind of weird.
A
little bit. That pastor is weird, right? And I hear he's a little strange, a little kooky, says some weird stuff, brings his children and films and things like that.
Yep.
But for the most part, that's a church plant. And this would be like if I planted the church and then I was gone for a while and I wrote them a letter. And that's what he does, is he writes them a letter to encourage them. And he talks about truth and what they know and all of these things. And the verse that I want to read to you is in verse 6. And it says, the same good news, Jesus, talking about Jesus, that came to you is going all over the world. That is going out all over the world. It is bearing fruit everywhere by changing lives, just as it has changed your lives from the day that you first heard and understood the truth about God's wonderful grace. Very similar message to what Jeremiah says. Jeremiah says, come home. Paul says almost the same thing. You have a home, and it's God. Now, he uses the word bearing fruit. What does that mean?
Like for the fruits of the Spirit?
Possibly. But if we're talking about just actual fruit, what does bearing fruit mean?
Oh, like an apple tree, like these fruits.
Yes, like a tree bears fruit. If an apple tree does not bear any apples, it's just a tree.
Yep.
It's no longer an apple tree, right? You can call it an apple tree, but until it makes one of these, it's just a tree. And now on this table here, I've got a bunch of different types of fruits, and these are just whatever the fruits I could find in my fridge. But do you have a favorite fruit?
Oh, yeah. I think out of all of these, I like the Asian pears the best.
Asian pear is the best for you. That's your absolute favorite. What is this one?
That's an apple.
Yes, not just an apple. It's the best apple on earth. They're the Fuji apples.
Ooh,
Just letting you know. If you think Honeycrisp or Gala or Red Delicious or Macintosh is better,
No.
I'm here to tell you, spiritually, you're wrong. It is the Fuji apple.
Yeah.
So the Fuji apple, the juiciest, the sweetest. And then what do we have here?
Nectarine?
Nectarine. This is actually my favorite fruit, but it's only ripe during the summer. And then we have its hairy cousin,
A peach.
the peach, right? Which is like a nectarine, except when you eat it, it kind of like tickles you back. And then here we have mini apples, right?
Grapes.
Grapes. These are grapes. You like grapes too, yeah? A lot or no?
A lot.
And then what do we have here?
Oh, a banana.
Banana. This is your favorite, right?
Nope.
You hate bananas.
Yeah.
So this is like your favorite, and this is your least favorite on this end right here, and then everything else in between, right? Kind of goes in order of your favorites to least favorites. I actually really love bananas because it's it's good, and you can put peanut butter on it.
You
and
put
you put
it
it in a
like in
sandwich.
everything.
Yeah, and you can blend it in a shake, or you can cover it with chocolate, or make it into an ice cream sundae. I mean, there's so many things you can do with this. You can do that with other fruit too, but this is my go-to. Oh, I'm starving, and I eat a banana, and I'm usually good.
Yeah.
Now, why do you hate bananas so much?
They're so slimy.
They're slimy.
Yeah, and then like the strings.
They're
I mean,
strings.
they're strings, I feel like.
Oh,
the
I know what you're talking
inside.
about. The little, when you peel it and
Yeah.
it kind of comes up. Well, you don't have to eat those. You just take those off.
No.
You've never liked banana. Even when he was a baby, he hated bananas. He would spit them out. Those and mushrooms, you'd put them in his mouth. I'd sneak them in, and and they would fall out of his mouth. It was really bad. But I love bananas. Now, here's all these different fruits, and God says that we're supposed to bear fruit. What that means is the purpose of a tree that is a fruit tree is to bear that fruit. An apple tree does not make grapes, and a grapevine does not make bananas, and et cetera, et cetera. So you and me, if we are believers, if you're a believer in Christ, we're supposed to bear fruit. Our lives are supposed to be different. That shows that God is real in our life. And we show that through our words, our actions, the way that we serve, the way that we love, the way that we live. And he's encouraging us. You know the truth. The good news is Jesus. Bear fruit because he lives inside of you. And he's encouraging the church and says, it's because God loves you, you should love him back. And as a result, your natural spiritual tree should grow. Now, as I was kind of getting ready to wrap this up, and as we're getting ready to encourage our folks here for the last time, what's the best thing about eating a piece of fruit when you're hungry?
The sweetness usually,
Yeah.
and not feeling hungry.
Yeah, the sweetness usually, right? And it's so cool when you're craving a nectarine and you see a nectarine, you're like, yes! Or like, I don't get these very often because these are expensive, and these were on sale, so I got a bunch of them. But these are, when you see these, you're like,
The
yes,
best.
right? You're so excited because they are so tasty. And on the other side, when I see a banana, I only like bananas when they're just turning yellow or just barely green, because I don't like mushy bananas or bruised bananas. And when I'm wanting a banana and I reach in and it's all bruised and yuck, and I'm like, ugh, I hate that. And I feel like God is telling us, I want you to be good fruit. I want you to be fruit that people are excited about. I want you to be fruit that when they see you, they're not like, ugh, but they're excited. So our encouragement to you today, as you leave today, as you turn off this video, be good fruit. Be the fruit that God intended you to be. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Man of many words right here, folks. Well, it is Pastor James from the Gold Creek Lake Stevens campus and Judah, his son. We will catch you guys next time. Have a great day.